Hello, this is Izumi Tanaka with Home Green Homes with podcast. Today I have Joseph Gentile from Pearl Certification. May I call you Joe? Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. So Joe has spent the last 2 decades leading efforts in real estate service industry. He is fluent in all aspects of franchising, sales, operations, and management, and has taken those skills to Pearl certification, which we're going to find out today about. A nationally recognized company that brings the value of energy efficiency to real estate transaction by helping homeowners recoup the value of their high performing investments at the time of sale or refinancing. So, thank you so much, Joe, for being here with me today. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, it took a while to get this together, but I'm so glad we're finally doing this. So let's talk about this Pearl certification. Here in California, it's still not very much recognized, but I think it's starting to. So can you briefly tell us about the background of how this came about and history,
Sure.
probably?
So our two co-founders, Robin LeBaron and Cynthia Adams, came up with this idea. I'd say about 5 years ago,
Mm,
and what they felt was that, according to the Department of Energy, 25% of homes are sold undervalued every year.
mm,
And what do those homes have in common? Well, it's energy efficient features. And so Robin and Cynthia, set out to form, a certification to offset that problem because if you went up to a buyer and said, would you like to live in a house that had less dust, less bugs, less mold, cost less money to run every month, and was more comfortable, would that appeal to you? So, of course, every buyer would want that, but articulating that is very difficult in the real estate transaction.
mhm,
So they combined together all these features and considered it a high performing home. And they said, okay, what could we do to help highlight these features to bring them to the forefront of the transaction? And that's what Pro Certification is.
mhm,
We are a marketing program for real estate agents. Essentially, we're the real estate easy button,
mhm,
for lack of better words, to help agents really highlight features that normally they don't talk about because either they're afraid of legal problems because they misrepresented the home, or they just didn't have a good understanding of the house.
mhm.
So that's what we do.
Okay. So, what are the criterias of the certification? What kind of, I mean, obviously energy efficiencies, but do you have any specific criteria to measure the efficiency level and therefore certify?
Well, what we have is several different levels of certification, right? So we don't deal with the uber efficient homes, which is the first misconception
Mm,
of Pearl, as well as just in general what efficient means. Uh,
mhm,
so we have just from standard asset certifications where we take a look at a large asset in the home like
mhm,
solar or maybe a good HVAC system.
mhm,
And then we have all the way up, so that's an asset certification. Then we have a gold certification, silver, gold, and then platinum. Um,
mhm.
and again, the platinum home is probably in the top 7% of homes in the country.
Right.
When you look at a silver home, it's in the top 25%. Uh,
Mm,
it really depends on how the house was retrofit and
mhm,
the different features of the house that were added on or changed throughout
mhm.
that time.
Right.
I live in a house that was built in 1950,
Right.
right? And before I even started at Pearl, I didn't even know I was making energy efficient upgrades. Um, and then, so by the time I started working at Pearl, I didn't even realize, but I had a silver home.
Oh,
I had
wow.
replaced I replaced the HVAC system. I put in the ductless mini split system.
Mhm.
Um, we changed the water heater to a tankless water heater. And then I started at Pearl. I was like, oh, wow, I'm not done here. And I started adding insulation to the attic and to several rooms when we were renovating rooms. I
Right.
did an air sealing project. So we take a look at all aspects of the home,
Mhm.
down to LED lighting, which is something that I did.
Right.
Smart home technology is another thing that we've added on to the certification as well, as long as it's being left behind when the house is being sold.
Mhm. Mhm.
But we look at several different areas of the house, from something as simple as, again, a thermostat, all the way up to, a brand new HVAC system in a home.
Mhm. Right. So you have some type of certifying entity or person that will come to your home and have a list of like a checklist of things to look at. right? So, who are the people who come to your home and certify? Are those people that you train as Pearl certification as an entity?
So usually we use a HERS rater. I mean, because
Oh, that's good.
yeah. So what we do need is a blower door test.
I see.
So we do have two types of certification. So we do have a virtual certification.
Mm-hmm.
Because of COVID, some people don't want extra feet in the house. So
Right,
we recognize that.
right.
Um, so it's we can't do a blower door test in that instance. So that's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But if we do send someone to the house, it's usually a HERS rater.
Right.
And they come in, again, they do a blower door test. They
Mm-hmm.
take a look at all the pieces of the house
Mm-hmm.
that most of the time an inspector will look at, but doesn't really recognize.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's really the anti-inspection.
Mm-hmm.
So an inspection's usually done at the end of the transaction by the buyer,
Right.
and pointing out all the things that are wrong with the house.
Oh, right.
We come in at the beginning, usually by the seller, because
Right.
or the selling agent,
Right.
and we point out all the fun, exciting things that get overlooked in the
Mhm.
transaction.
Right, right. So how do you look at things like insulation? And a lot of the things that we talk about in green building uh, space is a lot of things that we don't see, right? Like insulation, attic, roof. How do you measure that? Like if you come to existing home,
So, if it is a little tricky when you're measuring insulation levels in attic space
Mhm.
that's closed off.
Right?
I mean, so, we do rely on documentation at that point.
I see.
We do take a look at the building code when the house was built. In
Hmm.
instances that we can't get up there, we can't add points to something that we don't know is there.
Right,
So we have to guarantee that it was there and it was done correctly.
right.
Um, as far as, other aspects of the house, like if we can't see behind the wall,
Hmm.
we don't know, we can't add points to it. So we
Right.
do rely, if the homeowner has done like in my instance, if I did a weatherization package or a weatherization upgrade to the house,
Hmm.
I would provide the documentation to Pearl would then take a look at that documentation, and then it would be included in the certification.
I see. And so obviously you certify new construction homes as well, correct?
We do new construction, as long as, again, it has to be well documented.
Hmm.
Um, and obviously it's built, the code today is built significantly better than it was, right, 20 years
Right.
ago.
Right.
So depending on the, what zone it's in, we will determine what level of certification it is, as long as it's
Hmm.
built correctly and to
Hmm.
standard.
Now, so how does it compare to systems like LEED? Like how does it compare? Is it sounds like the level you have from gold, silver, gold, platinum, and you have certified silver, gold, and platinum, correct?
Yeah, so it's again, asset, silver, gold, platinum.
Oh,
So
mhm.
we're very different than LEED. LEED is a building standard,
Right,
right?
right,
So, and it's very expensive to build to that standard. It's very much
exactly.
like Earthcraft
Right.
from a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
So what we do is very different, and we're also creating an experience and a marketing packet for a
Right.
real estate agent.
Right.
Uh, Lead for home is just a designation,
Right.
So what we do is give, like, most people don't realize what good air sealing means, right?
Right.
So
Right.
we articulate that value in the
I
term of
see.
benefit for the
Mhm.
buyer.
I see.
Uh, and we're also significantly less expensive.
Yeah, that I know. Yes. So yeah, like you said, what are the benefit of getting certified for homeowners? Like you already touched on, how it can help the real estate people like us to be able to really um, feature those different items and the upgrades that homeowners did. How can we motivate the homeowners to get their homes motivated?
Well,
Oh, well, certified.
I was just writing a blog literally this morning,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, I was talking about, how, when I would coach real estate agents, I
Hmm.
would say, don't be a secret agent.
Right.
And now I'm looking at homes, and I'm saying, don't create a secret hideout. Uh, so, what happens is that, there's a really good home,
Hmm.
okay? And, if those features aren't marketed correctly,
Hmm.
you're going to lose the value. So no matter what you do, if
Right.
a buyer comes into that house and those features aren't marketed correctly,
Hmm.
they're not going to pay more for it.
Right.
And you know, we did an appraisal study down in where we were founded in Charlottesville,
Mm-hmm.
and we had several homes that were in the study,
Yeah.
and most of them were marketed correctly, and there were a handful that weren't. And what we found were homes that were the only way a house realized value was if it was marketed correctly.
Mm-hmm.
If the homes weren't marketed correctly, like we gave these great tools to the real
Yeah.
estate agent,
Yeah.
if they didn't use them. So if I'm an agent and I'm talking to a homeowner, it's look,
Right.
this is going to help the resale of your home.
Yeah.
This is a no brainer for you.
Right.
And if you're a homeowner that's looking to improve their house,
Mm-hmm.
having pro certification on there is just the added benefit for you for that time when you do come to list or sell it.
Right. Right.
It's really an overall, I mean, we do a lot of things with people to help them, like, gamify their home, where it's look, okay, you've done X amount of, upgrades to your home. If you
Mm-hmm.
do this and this more,
Right.
you could then get to gold. Why not? So you
Yeah.
should be looking to replace that air conditioning unit,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it's things like that. So we help agents, we help homeowners make those decisions.
Right.
uh,
Right.
sometimes.
So the homeowners can opt to get their home certified, even if they're not necessarily selling.
Oh, sure. Yes. As a matter of fact, we have a brand new product out called Green Door,
Mm-hmm.
um, that is a pathway to a greener home for
Mm-hmm.
homeowners.
Right.
Uh, so when the homeowner has access, they build their profile of their house, and
Mm-hmm.
it lets them know to keep, okay, well, look, you're looking to change out your HVAC system. This is
Right.
something that you should be looking for,
Right.
and et cetera.
Right, right. I think your colleague Nathan had told me about it, and he actually told me I should do it with my home just so that I get familiar with. We just recently did insulation, like upgrade, and
Right.
we replaced the furnace to 96% efficient carrier. Yeah, and obviously put the smart thermostat. So this is our first step of improving our efficiency. So it's something that I can do. Like I understand with the green door, it kind of lays out a plan for you or something. Is that correct?
Yeah, so you would store those documents within Green Door, so it's documented. So like the
Mhm. Oh, I
insulation.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, again, with your HVAC,
Mm-hmm.
your furnace, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to enter that information in as well. And you take a
Right.
photograph of it. And
Right.
again, it creates that profile.
Right.
And then you can add in other features to your house, like your air
Mhm.
conditioning unit,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
then it will tell you that if you're looking to upgrade your AC unit, these are the things that you should be looking for, and these would be
Right.
the points that you would receive if you
Mm-hmm.
did do it.
Mm-hmm. I
And
see.
then again, yeah.
It gives you the resources on the green door for homeowners to make some planning for the
Yes.
future. That's amazing. I think I'm going to put a link to green door in the show note. So so how does the certification help to qualify or quantify the value? You must have come out with some kind of an algorithm or some formula, like if you have this is going to add this much value. Is there such thing, or is it more it's not so constant?
Well, it depends on what which zone you live in, and
Right.
then again, and it is proprietary. So we do have a grading system that we
I
there are
see.
certain assets that are weighted, right? That
Hmm.
the larger units that
Right.
that are more impactful.
Right.
Air sealing, and insulation, obviously, are biggies.
Right.
Your HVAC system or your
Hmm.
furnace, that's
Hmm.
another big one.
Hmm.
Water system, that's another big one.
Hmm.
Then you do get points for windows, depending on what level of windows you have.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You do
I
get
see.
points for Energy Star appliances.
I see.
Yeah, so it depends on what you're doing. Like you're
Mhm.
not going to get as many points for a thermostat as you would
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
your HVAC system, but you
Right.
do get points for that.
Right. Right. So as I mentioned earlier, we talked about lead a little bit, but now we have quite a few different certification programs. Lead has been has that its own position, but now we have Energy Star and the National Green Building Institute. And in California, now we have what we call Build It Green. Are you familiar with Build It Green?
I am, yes.
Yeah, so they're now they were really started out in California, and because California has a stricter code, and now it's starting to expand to other states. So, what do you think that differentiates Pearl certification? For me, from my experience, you know, uh, communicating with you, you provide so much resource for us Asians. Do you know what really differentiates Pearl certification compared to some of the other certification
Well,
programs?
look, I mean, look, all the certifications are very good out there. So I don't
Mhm.
want to make it sound like, well,
Right.
we do better, and that,
Yeah.
everyone has their place in
Hmm.
what we're looking to do.
Hmm.
The first thing that that we do is, I think our marketing and our brand recognition is
Hmm.
superior. I mean,
Right.
we really, we've been at this for a while. We understand the tools and the systems, and we've proved
Right.
out,
Right.
our formula works.
Right.
The other piece of it too is, we are partnered with some fantastic contractors across the country,
Hmm.
that we certify the work that they do. Um,
Hmm.
so, like, in Charlottesville, for instance, we have, Segura Solar, who's an outstanding, solar installer,
Hmm.
and they do above grade work. We only deal with the top of the top in the country.
Hmm.
So when our contractors are out there doing the work for homeowners, they're certifying the home ahead of time. So
Right.
yeah, and it's terrific. It's really a great system for us.
Hmm.
So we do take a lot of care with who we choose to allow into the
Hmm.
network.
Hmm. That reminds me that, in the beginning, you mentioned how this whole thing started, and you mentioned that Department of Energy, but you have all the other like pretty powerful entities that's, I don't know how to word it. Is it they're backing you up, or are they part of your
Partners,
Pearl
they back us.
certification?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the list is extensive. I mean, the big one for real estate is
Hmm.
NAR is an investor in Pearl.
Right.
In 2017, we were inducted into their Reach class, the NAR Reach class,
Hmm.
which means they're an investor and a part owner of Pearl, because they feel that we could move the needle for real estate agents across
Right.
the country to help sell
Right.
homes better.
Yeah,
Um,
NAR meaning National Association of Realtors, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yes. And
That's
then
a
in addition to that, we have just partnered as a membership benefit to any green designee with
mhm,
the Green Resource Council of the National Association of Realtors as
mhm.
well.
Right,
So if you're a green agent, if you're a green designee, you should definitely touch base with Pearl. There's some fantastic benefits to that.
right,
But
right.
yeah, I mean, so we have that. We have Energy Star, Department of Energy.
And
Yeah, I mean,
appraisal
the
institute,
Appraisal Institute. That's another one. Correct. Yeah, we do partner with the Appraisal Institute.
right,
Uh, yeah, there's several.
right. So it really sounds like this is a fairly comprehensive and very thought out programs where if more of us can use it, the more homeowners get to know about it, can really add values to not only their homes, but for our business, for our green realtors like myself, right?
Yeah, it's that I guess the goal here is to raise the bar
Right.
on how we view our home,
Mm-hmm.
right? Most people don't realize, they think the car
Right.
is the greatest culprit of the emissions
Yeah.
to the environment, right?
Right.
Your home is if it's not built correctly and it's not the
Mhm.
standard,
Right.
it could be really bad for the environment, could be really
Right.
bad for your health,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So let's raise the bar. If we could make homes more valuable at the time of sale,
Right.
more people will want to make those upgrades, and the more people that make those upgrades, the
Mhm.
more we're going to raise that bar to continue, really pushing it until we all live in really good homes for our health, our comfort, and our wealth.
Right. So I have a challenging question for you. So the property that actually led me to speak to you is the my listing I have, and it's a Pearl certified home, as you know. And we just found out that the roof is at the end of lifespan, and so we had an inspection done, and the inspector report says the roof needs to be replaced. And my client's solar panels were installed by a company that bankrupted. so they can't access their account to, for warranty. And so we are thinking, I mean, they're going to have to remove the
The panels.
PVs, right? To get the roof done and then, put it back on. And so we're kind of trying to find what's the best solution to handle this, because I think it behooves us to fix it, because we are trying to market as a Pearl certified home, therefore to add values. But if we give buyers any reason to negotiate with having a roof that needs to be replaced, right? I mean, do you have any suggestion how to approach this?
I mean, that's a difficult one, especially during COVID, because we had a lot of
Yeah.
companies across the country go bankrupt. I mean,
Yeah.
the last year has been tough for people.
Mm-hmm.
What I would probably suggest is that we speak to some of the people in our quality control department and
Mm-hmm.
see if we have a solar contractor that's in the area that maybe
Oh,
might be able to help assist with it. Now they're not going to hold it under warranty, but they might
right,
be able to help us out. I mean, that
right.
would be the best case scenario if we can't get in touch with the company
Mhm.
that went out of business. But
Okay,
yeah,
so
those situations, it's a bummer when those situations happen, right? I mean, there's
yeah,
nothing you can do.
I know. So did you say you have a department within Pearl certification that I can reach out to?
Yeah, I mean, we may look. Of course, I mean, from yourself, you could
Right.
always reach out to us, and there's a resource somewhere within the organization for you.
Yeah,
Yeah, but what we would do is probably call some of our friendly contractors,
right.
if someone could give us a hand,
Okay,
or have a suggestion for us.
okay. Sounds good. That's that. I'm gonna take up on that.
Please do.
Well, thank you so much, Joe. This was really helpful, and I'm really excited to work with you because this is my first home that's Pro certified to list, and I was really pleasantly surprised how helpful you are. You and your colleagues. So I'm really grateful for your help, and we'll be talking to you more probably as we
Thank
go
you
along.
very much. Thank you for your business, and thank you for giving this a try.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you again. This is Izumi Tanaka with Home Green Homes. Until next time. Thank you.